Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of When in Rome with Michael, which is myself, and my co-host, Matt Kratz.
Hey, how y'all doing? We're going to have fun tonight.
Yes, we are. So tonight we have a special show that was requested by a group that shall remain anonymous to do a biography about the ancestor of a certain member of our little community here. Now, this person was supposed to be joining us this evening, but he seemed a bit cranky.
He did join us briefly.
Yeah, and was having some technical difficulties getting himself set up for the show, and then less than gracefully exited the green room. And I have been trying to get back in touch with him, and to no avail. But we're still going to do our little biography. And when you guys watch the show, you'll know exactly who this is talking about. We're not going to put names out there. But if you know anything about the community that we all hang out in, you'll know. So, that being said, if that person decides that they do want to join and hop in, we'll be happy to have them. Not a big deal. I might have yelled at him too hard, not realizing that he was just not feeling it. But it is what it is.
He may have been just waking up.
Yeah.
He did get an earful.
I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? I did all the work for you. Anyways, so tonight we are going to be talking about the one and only Emperor Honorius. So when you look at lists of the greatest and worst emperors of Rome, on the great side of the spectrum, you'll hear names like Augustus or Trajan or Marcus Aurelius, or, any of the Flavian emperors. And then when you look at the worst, you probably see names like Nero or Caligula, or even, Commodus, bringing up the Pax Romana. When it comes down to Emperor Honorius, he's definitely in the latter category. He is definitely one of the worst rulers Rome has ever had. But he was definitely, how to put this?
Yeah, it's complicated, right? Because I don't think we'll get into it, but it's not so simple that he made all the wrong decisions, but he also showed up at a really bad time. At an age when maybe he's a little too young for some of the, and too late to really make the impact that I guess is other emperors were able to do.
So we have a Mo Biggs hanging out in the chat. He's saying that he hails the chat and he hails Matt Kratz, and he said that he would hail me, but it's not like I'm going to read it. So
hail Mo Biggs.
It's all good.
Look at this. Michael is reading the chat, and he's not waiting 20 minutes to do it either.
We've got a fun show tonight. It's going to be good.
Yep.
It's really funny because doing the research for this show, some great historical podcasts on it, but we're not going to EFAP any of that content, because as great and informative as it was very difficult to get through, because for whatever reason, pretty much every person that's done YouTube content on this emperor and the fall of Western Rome is about as energetic as the teacher from Ferris Bueller. They're very,
that's the standard.
So all of a sudden, it actually started. It was difficult to get through, so it involved reading. Yeah, of course. All this showed up and killed my only viewer privilege. All right.
Oof.
But yeah, so when it comes down to Honorius, he is a bit of, while he's definitely one of the worst emperors Rome ever had, I like it. Like, it's definitely one of these things where he was kind of screwed to get from the jump.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, so in order to really talk about Honorius, we have to kind of set the stage a little bit. His father Theodosius was like effectively the first emperor of the Western Roman Empire. By this point, while Rome was like technically split, it had technically undergone the split of the two portions. It hadn't been made official in that capacity yet. Like, Constantine had focused his rule on the eastern portion of the empire, and there was technically a Western ruler, but the official split of the Roman Empire happens during toward the end of the reign of Theodosius, and Theodosius is kind of a badass. He's not a particularly nice guy if you're a pagan.
That's fair. Yeah.
He is definitely a part of the new Christian order that is going around, and they're destroying pagan temples. They're persecuting anybody that's still worshiping the old religions. So not a particularly nice guy if you are, trying to hold on to your cultural identity, but very successful military emperor. And he ends up making his son Theodosius his co-emperor in the Western Empire when Honorius is 8 years old. So let's see. We actually have a question from the chat. Wasn't Maximus II the first emperor of the Western Rome following the Tetrarchy? I'll double check. Like, it's very freaking confusing because it's like there's all this stuff that goes on. Theodosius first.
Yeah, it's tricky because that's when we start looking east, right from that point.
This is toward the close of the 4th century. And Theodosius is prominent for his like war of the Goths and Maximus. I wonder if that's who I want to make sure that I get this right. Maximus II.
Thank you, Aldous.
Okay.
We had a slow start and it's grounded to a halt.
No. Actually, this is good. So,
good.
Magnus Maximus, who is Maximus II, was technically a Western Roman emperor. However, he was a usurper that ruled over Britain, Gaul, and Spain from 383 to 388. So no. And you're yes, good job.
Yep. That's the interactivity. That's the engagement that we give here.
Yes, of course. So, like, he's one of the usurpers that comes along during this time. So Theodosius is right off the bat. Honorius is this co-ruler to Theodosius, who's this accomplished military leader, and Theodosius. It's kind of funny. Because for whatever reason, Theodosius makes it pretty much makes it law that the emperor will not be going into battle anymore. They handle the affairs of diplomacy and state back at wherever their capital and court is, and they have military generals and advisors that will go out and handle shit for them. And a lot of historians will, even classical historians, will attribute this to Theodosius having foresight and looking at his children and being like, you guys are not going to be able to do this. And having like, no faith in their ability whatsoever. We've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was only a usurper from a certain point of view, probably, and not an inaccurate claim. But, jeez.
You got a phone call?
No, I got a text message and it went off like on my ID badge for work, and so it was way louder than I was expecting. Yeah. So, anyways, we Arrogant Ape was like, whoops, that was me. You're welcome. And with that, the buzzer of the lightning round is over 100%. So, anyways, at this point, this is what the Roman Empire is looking like. All right. So, I wonder if I can get this map to zoom in a bit bigger. Yeah. All right. So, this is what we're looking at here with the split of the Roman Empire. You've got this western portion over here, and you obviously got the eastern portion. So, at this point, Rome is the capital of the Roman Empire still. However, Honorius, very early in his reign, is going to decide to leave Rome for Ravenna, which is slightly up to the north. Ravenna's geography makes it better, easier to defend. Its size makes it easier to defend. And even though, like, Honorius, while he is in Rome, decides to make an addition to the Aurelian Wall to double its height, it's effectively just a stopgap to make it look like he gives a shit about the city. But he pretty quickly abandons it and goes to Ravenna.
Meanwhile, like administratively, a lot of things were happening in Ravenna for a while at that point, right?
Yeah,
like late 3rd century, even. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm a bit loopy. It has been a long past few days, but it's good to be back. But anyways, so he's off at Ravenna, and around this time you are having the incursions of the Goths that have been coming in from Germany. Now, for much of his adolescent going through his teenage career, Honorius's his military arm is propped up by this very prominent Roman commander, and I'm gonna pull up his name here really quickly because I am going to butcher this if I don't have it right in front of me. God, this is a mess on my end.
The guy that would end up being his opponent.
Well, he's not even really his opponent. What ends up happening is that his brothers trick him into thinking that this guy has made a plot to kill him, and so he has him assassinated. Effectively, I mean, he officially gets arrested and executed, but.
Yeah, and that's an interesting side that doesn't get talked about too much, because that that's one of the reasons why Rome ends up getting sacked, is my understanding, is because he keeps pissing off.
Stilicho.
There you go. The very people he needs to maintain unity with in order to keep the Goths at bay, right?
And it's interesting because Stilicho is not without fault either. Stilicho is probably one of the last great Roman generals, and in fact, he will be the focus of the last triumph held in the city of Rome for his defeat of a figure that is going to, like, as I said, Stilicho is not without fault himself, because Alaric, the man who is going to lead the Gothic army that burns down Rome eventually, is initially beaten by Stilicho, but Stilicho doesn't pursue him for a total victory. He actually had the opportunity to completely destroy Alaric's army, capture and execute him, and he doesn't go through with it because he decide like there's so much stuff going on, so much chaos, and Stilicho is going around the Western Empire, putting down different Gothic invasions that are coming through, and then there's also usurpers. We got Aldous in the chat. This show draws triple the crowd of the Napoleon series. I'm impressed. Well, I'm not going to lie. We did have like a really really promising marketing thing to get people in, and that person decided not to hang out with us, and it's upsetting. And I hope that he changes his mind.
I wish we had been live then. It was interesting. You guys will just have to use your imaginations.
But anyways. I might have been too mean. I was grumpy. They had forgotten that we were doing this this stream, and they were like kind of napping, and then I was trying to help them get set up, and I was kind of a dick about it. So I hope that they join us. But if not, the punchline is going to make it pretty clear on who it is. But anyways, so you've got the Western Empire at this point, and Stilicho is doing everything he can from a military aspect to keep them above water. And Honorius, I think Honorius does respect this to a degree. I mean, he obviously he orders a triumph for Stilicho, and he trusts him a lot. But Honorius has two younger brothers who are jealous of Stilicho, because Stilicho is effectively acting as Honorius's co-ruler at this point. Theodosius has passed away, and Stilicho is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in ruling the Western Empire. Honorius is still way too young to be making a lot of these decisions, and and yeah, so it was a whole thing of, you know, Honorius is allowing his military advisor and effectively co-ruler to make all these decisions, and his brothers are getting jealous, and so they start to put poison in his ear. Now, around this point in time, Stilicho tries to team up with the Gothic army of Alaric to invade the Eastern Empire and gain this this territory in I want to say it's in Dacia, where there it's Illyria, which I believe, if we're looking at the map, if we're looking at the All right, yeah. So if we're looking at the map, right on the border of the Diocese of Italy and the Diocese of Dacia, like right smack dab there in the center is where Illyria is. And this is a very prominent place where there is a bunch of troops, and the Eastern Empire is doing pretty well. Western Empire is constantly getting invaded, and Stilichos needs men to field on battle, and the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Roman Empire's political relations have not been the greatest lately, and they're constantly butting heads.
So you're saying the Western Empire's military general invades, like teams up with
the Goths,
Alaric of the Goths, and invades the Eastern Empire?
Yes, they cement a truce and they make a plan to invade Illyria. So and what have you. And right before they're about to do this, Stilichos calls it off, and this is probably the death sentence of Stilichos right here, because this really undermines his credibility despite his military feats that he's had before. This really hurts his position with Honorius back in Rome. Meanwhile, you also have a new usurper that has come up in Africa that is threatening the Roman grain supply. Okay, so we've got some people in the chat. Let's see. Real quick, Mo saying, Ogden, okay, all this. According to my calculations, we should be able to just fit in if we completely ignore the chat. The chat even exists. Hey, man, you can say what you want, but I'm giving you guys all the love tonight. So Crazy Mad is here. Thank you for joining us. Neff, thank you so much for coming on, even though we're apparently going to ignore you all night. It's all good. Derail the show with questions. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the guest that we had on that we were going to make a really fun gag out of kind of dipped out because I was too mean to him. So, but anyways.
Yeah. So our new gag is talking about the gag that we can't pull off right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
And letting Aldous derail us. So
yes. All right, so the cat's out of the bag. B-Rose is not coming. He was in my green room, and I was trying to get him set up with like a special icon. He was having issues, and I apparently made him angry, and he left the green room, and he will not get back to me. So,
yeah,
that's what the show is. We are still doing this. That we are talking about the Chicken Emperor. So we will get there, because that is the big punchline about Honorius, is he is the Chicken Emperor, and you guys will find that out here soon enough. So Stilichos calls off this this invasion of the Eastern Roman Empire. Africa is withholding its grain supply from Rome, and so Stilichos goes to make an appeal to the politically make an appeal to the Eastern Roman Empire as it's going through a change in leadership. And by the time he comes back, Honorius no longer trusts him, and he has been made to believe that that Stilichos is the mastermind behind an elaborate assassination plot to kill Honorius. So when Stilichos comes back, he is placed under arrest and executed. This guy that was one of the last great military leaders of his time the last person to receive a triumph in the city of Rome itself, was killed and branded, was arrested, branded a traitor, and executed. And so this is where things get interesting, because Honorius is now the head of the Western Roman Empire. He has some uprising military talent in Constantine III, but the Goths that had been dealing with Stilichos don't really care, and so they start to do what the Goths do, which is they start encroaching in on the Roman territories, pillaging and looting on their way, and eventually they get to Rome.
And now, it's important. It's important to know. What I did read was also that Stilichus's a lot of his army actually defected to the Goths as well. So you can imagine what kind of precarious situation that puts the emperor in. Like, this isn't the first time that an emperor has cut off his own foot, but like, it was in better times, more stable times, that other emperors did insane things, and carrying on that tradition at a time like this is, you only have a couple of mistakes you can make before the whole thing falls down. So that's the situation Honorius is in.
Well, so to before I address, we move forward with that, the chat is talking about what the show would have been like with B-Rose. The whole plan was to have B-Rose be on here, and he was going to be the running gag throughout the night. He had a specific role to play, and once we get to the Chicken Emperor line, it will make a lot more sense. But yeah, so as Matt was saying, it certainly does not help the fact that the Goths receive a lot of aid from Stilichos's former armies, because they are not happy with how their commander was treated. And at this point, there's this big notion that's kind of pushed by the narrative of the Goths being these, like, Germanic barbarians that are in bear skins and everything. By this point, Rome's influence had spread over Europe. The armies of the Goths and everything were not, barbarian hordes. They were organized contemporary military units with armor and weapons and tactics and generals on par with those of their contemporary Romans. Which kills me to admit, but and look at that, we've got two more people. We've got two more people that have joined us. Or I guess we got one more person that's joined us. We're at 5 people, which is an all-time high for us. Actually, I think our highest has been like 11 people watching the stream, and that was during the Julius Caesar one.
I think we got pretty high with I thought we got high with the French Revolution, right? Or the chat was just running pretty fast.
No, the chat just went hot during the French Revolution.
Yeah.
I don't think that we had that many people watching, but we do have Courtney that's joined us here this evening. Thank you so much.
Hey, welcome.
The Goths were basically the non-conformist version of the Romans. Not inaccurate. But anyways, it's funny because, like, Alaric will crown one of his chiefs as an emperor of Rome. When they initially get to the city of Rome, they do not sack it. They initially impugn their own emperor upon the Roman Senate and have them declare him Roman emperor. And when they do this, they start to have run-ins with Honorius's new general, Constantine III, and Constantine proves to be a more than adequate military commander, and the Goths are forced to abandon the city, but before they do, they burn it down. And this is this is the first true sacking of the city of Rome since the Gauls had done back in the era of the early Republic.
Yeah, like 800 years or something, right?
Yeah, it had been a long time. And so this is where the punchline comes in for the evening. And we have this account from the Roman historian Procopius, who we have to take a bit with a grain of salt. Procopius was the historian that went around with Belisarius and during the age of Justinian. So it's a bit removed from this, but I think it's a little over 400 years, because Belisarius' siege of Rome was in the 800s. I think it was like 810. But anyways, Procopius tells us of this account where Honorius is told that Rome is dead, like Rome is gone, and he freaks out. He's like, but I've just fed Rome. And they're like, we're talking about the city, but I'm talking about my chicken. Or I believe that the line is specifically, I'm speaking of my hen. That is Rome. I thought that you were speaking about my hen, my prized hen. And so Honorius is probably, everyone talks about Nero playing the fiddle when while Rome was burning, but really I'd say it's far worse that when you're told that the center of, even by this point, thousands of years of imperial culture has been destroyed by Goths, and your reaction is, my chicken?
Yeah. That's pretty. It's pretty damning, even if anecdotal.
It's pretty bad.
And probably apocryphal. It's a great way to sum up an emperor like this, I suppose. Yeah.
So let's go to the chat. So we saw that that Courtney joined, and I believe we got this comment: the Goths are basically just non-conformist versions of the Romans. Army of Goths just sounds like a group of whiny teenagers. I mean, not inaccurate. Matt sent me a very funny meme earlier that I'll put on here. The Goths wear black and listen to Skinny Puppy, I thought. I mean, yes, but these are the Visigoths. So, I bet the Goths smoked Newports and drank a lot of coffee and complained about their fathers. Yeah. Not inaccurate. At Denny's. Just call me hen should have been here for this moment. Yeah, I know. That's ultimately what this stream was building up to, is B Rose's love of chicken. He is the whole joke is that he's the descendant of Emperor Honorius, and we had a whole fried chicken gag planned, but I apparently went too far. I just hope he knows that I was just guffing around. I have fun hanging out.
Even I knew, and I'm new. I'm the new guy in these circles, and I knew he was joking around. But I think B Rose was like half awake, and he just didn't know what to do with the noise.
All this is like waiting for Matt to correct the record that the fiddle wasn't developed until around the 15th century. I know that it's not actually like the violin is the Roman equivalent. I just can't remember what it's called at this point. Matt, do you know?
I actually don't. I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah, all this. Good point. You get to correct us. Look how much engagement we give you. So
if your side survived Ogden's delivery of that joke, imagine if B Rose had been here. Look, If Bureaus had been here, we would have had a lot of fun, and it would have just been goofy. You'd think a stream about the Goss would have been more of a hot topic.
That's pretty decent. That's a good one.
Well played with that pun, friend. But yeah, so the Western Roman Empire does stand, like, it does pretty much fall after Honorius. Like, it's broken up into several different kingdoms with usurper rulers, but the Goths will eventually take over a bunch of it, and I think it's I want to say it's like Alaric II declares himself like the king of Rome, and his family will rule over a lot of what is the Western Roman Empire until his passing, and then Belisarius will come and retake the city and bring it back into the fold of Eastern Rome for a very brief period of time in the 9th century, which is a really great story that we can do at another time, because Belisarius deserves a lot. Like, there's actually a fantastic video series done by, I want to say, Epic History TV. That's like a 3-4-parter on Belisarius. That'd be great to kind of go through and like EFAP and just talk about.
Absolutely.
Talk about Belisarius. Phenomenal commander. But let's see. Let's look at the chat. We've got Arrogant Ape is here. So it's a good thing the Goths didn't burn Rome, or Honorius would be screaming, "Oh no, my God is on fire." I mean, they did burn Rome, but you know, it's hard to take a city made of almost entirely marble to the ground. So, but yeah, let's pull up that meme that Matt sent me earlier. This stream did not go as long as I was hoping for, because, well, the whole point of this was to have like a B-Rose gag joke and have that play very heavily into it.
You guys are so lucky. Like, do you guys realize? Yeah, see, look at that. Look at that beauty. The Goths laying waste to Rome. F in the chat.
Oh man, good. I'd sent Aldous the first link to that to that video series on Belisarius. Belisarius is considered by most people to be the last Roman general, the last one that really feels like a Roman general. Even when Belisarius fails, it's fucking impressive.
It is.
His second siege of Rome literally only gets screwed up because his subordinates do not listen to him. Like, his second siege is way more impressive than the first one at the offset, and then all of a sudden he has to go bail out his second in command, who didn't just do what they were told. Let's see.
Hail Sugar Chris on the chat.
Wait, what? I'm confused. Oh, I get it. All right. Ali disavows this stream. Don't feel, Ogden. The stream may not have been long, but it felt long, and that's what matters, according to Bancroft. We got Sugar Crest in the chat. Hail, Sugar. Good to see you, buddy. But to be fair, she wouldn't understand anything anyway. Maybe. Man, I can look at this meme and wish I was Rome.
Yep.
Indeed. But
thought you guys would appreciate that.
Absolutely. Matt, do you have any update? Kyrie should be heading out soon, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's well, to me, yes. It's printing this week. I approved all the pages and everything. So Now I'm just waiting to get the notification, and they're going to send me some advanced copies. I'm going to send them to folks who do reviews. I don't know who that will be. Who will
I certainly
could be my co-host here,
well,
so that you get an
I will
early
dedicate an
copy.
entire stream to talking about Kyrie Book 3. The only thing I ask is that you do not pull an Eric Shanower on me, because remember, we talked and I said that I would really like for you to draw Alexander the Great in my interior cover.
Yep.
And so Eric Shanower does a fantastic series called Age of Bronze. I've got the first volume right here. I've got to turn off the my awesome background for a second. How to do that? Sometimes I forget how to do things on StreamYard.
One of those 3 dots things.
Yeah, I know. I'm tired. It's been a really long week. So this is Eric Shanower's Age of Bronze, the first volume called 1,000 Ships. This is his historiographic retelling of the Trojan War, which is really good. But in the front, he signed, like if you get it from his website, he signs it and he does a little sketch. And on the website, it allows you to request like a specific thing if you want him to draw something, and you can pay a little extra to get him to do like almost like a little commission. And so when I hit him up, I think it was for the second volume, which I have up there as well. I asked for him to draw like his version of Achilles and his version of Hector fighting each other. And he said, "Oh yeah, I'll absolutely do that." And then I got it, and it was Agamemnon. And I was like, motherfucker.
Oh man. I was wondering why you weren't showing off the drawing too much.
Yeah, no, I was so mad. Like I was just like, you son of a bitch, you told me you'd do this. Let's see. Let's go to the chat. We got Arrogant Ape, Kyrie Ape, Visigoth.
Thanks, Ape.
Love it. All right. Second, a recommendation on Age of Bronze. Yes, it's phenomenal. Like, it is a great book. Shanower does phenomenal work. His research is impeccable. I want to say, let me pull this back down. I want to say like the last like 10 pages. Hold on. So from page, God damn, from 202 to 223 is an afterword, a genealogy chart, a dedication that goes through like all of the studying that he did, a glossary of names, and an annotated bibliography. Like,
that's pretty legit. That's above and beyond.
Book's absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to be doing my own historiographic retelling of the Trojan War called Pro McCoy. That's a bit different than how Shanower has approached it, but it's good. It like Age of Bronze is an absolutely fantastic book. And if you want to read a story written by a genuine classicist that is blending all of the stories of the Trojan War from post-Homerica to the Iliad to the Odyssey, he's your guy. And it's fantastic. They call it Age of Bronze because Bronze Age is now considered problematic. I don't think so.
BAP. That's a BAP reference, I'm pretty sure.
I'm down to 230 now. No, not quite. I think I'm at like 270. So I've still been on the weight loss train, but like there comes a point where like weight loss slows down, and so I'm like kind of in that plateau while I'm trying to get my diet more stringent, which is always.
Ogden, how tall are you? That's you must be as big as a mountain.
I'm 6'2". So like
yeah. Well, you wear it well. That's wow. 270, 6'2". That's yeah.
So like I'm trying to get back down. Like if I can get back down to like 240, 250, I'll be very happy.
That'd be pretty slim for your height.
Well, I used to be when I was in the Army, I was 220, and that was like the best shape of my life. Like me being able to run a 5K in under 20 minutes. I did like an 18-minute 5K during my last deployment right before I got injured. So like that, if I could get back down to there, that'd be awesome. But I don't think that's something I have that I'm going to be able to do as well. So, losing weight. I thought you meant subscribers. No, just wait. But anyways, that being said, you know what? Since we've got a few minutes left before the hour, I do actually have something exciting to show. I hope Neff is still in the chat. So we have our signing list up for the Embrace 2. And SPQR should be getting back on the fulfillment train. I've been going through a lot of stuff recently, and I'll be posting an update on that by the end of the week. I apologize. I know it's been a long time since I did my last update, but there's just been a lot of stuff going on here that I've had to deal with. And I was not in the best place for a while. So I'll be putting out an update that kind of goes more into that. But one of the things that has been worked on behind the scenes is I have a book that I have been working on with Neff. We 9 Realms and Global Frequency have come together to do a joint production. We have 2 books that will be coming out this year, and the first one of them is called Judex, and it is a rework of an old public domain character that served as the inspiration for the Shadow. Walter B. Gibson straight up said that his inspiration for the Shadow came from this French silent movie called Judex. And so when I went and I took a look at this character, and I got some help from some people to redesign him and make him unique. And I came up with this kind of story where we set him in Vichy occupied Paris. And he's now this kind of manifestation of the cultural spirit of Paris. And we have a sign-up sheet up. So please make sure that you sign up. I'm going to share the screen right now. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to put the link here in the chat. If you haven't already
sounds brilliant.
Please do. We have this artist, Fabrizio Ugolini, who has worked on like heavy metal and a whole bunch of other stuff. Absolutely phenomenal artist. We're doing it black and white because let me tell you guys, this guy's black and like just his lines looks like a black and white Sapatone film. Just look at this.
Oh wow, I love this. Yeah, the smooth gradations there. Yeah, it's rich.
It's absolutely fantastic. We have this great story that I think everyone's going to really love. I will send it to you. It's actually a direct quote from the guy.
The only thing more impressive than that art is Mobig's restraining himself from making jokes about the name Judex. at your expense. Oh, he's too busy. Yeah. There it is. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I missed that. He already got there. Sorry, Mo Biggs.
But anyways,
That's a funny. Like, is there what is Judex? Could you explain? Like, is that his name? Is that his like?
so Judex is French for judge, and
Okay.
so like the whole point in the silent film was he was kind of using like hypnotics and like stagecraft to get revenge on these people that killed his family. Was like the original silent film. And when you look at like the original character design of Judex, it's like, hold on, I'll pull up the silent film version. Judex, I want to say it was like 1920. It was one of like, yeah, here we go. So it was why has Yahoo all of a sudden become my freaking search thing? I don't like who did this. I'm on Google Chrome. Why isn't it letting me use Google? Sorry, I think somehow my search engine got switched to Yahoo, and I don't really like it. Judex film. 1916 was the original film.
So almost like one of the earliest depictions of like a lone vigilante character that's like an avatar of justice for the city, kind of that prototype. That's cool.
I'm gonna pull up the poster of it right now that I've got it. Sorry, I know that all this is saying this is riveting, and I apologize. I was just trying to find the right one. So this is what Judex looked like in the original film that I've kind of reworked, and you can see like he's got like like the cap, he's got the cloak. As I said, he was in the original thing, he was using like hypnosis and everything like that, and that's very similar to what Walter B. Gibson comes up with the clouding men's minds and everything. From a visual standpoint, Gibson said that he took a lot of direct inspiration from this silent film. So I saw that, and the Shadow is a character that I've always loved and that I've always wanted to write for, and I had my own ideas for stories to do, but the copyright and trademark laws regarding the Shadow make doing anything like that really difficult, even as he's becoming more of his stories are becoming into the spectrum of public domain. The use of certain designs and phrases and everything can still get you in trouble with Condé Nast, and they're very protective of the IP. So it was just one of those things where writing my own Shadow story without Condé Nast is probably not going to work. So I wanted to do something new. And when I found out about Judex and I did the research and I saw that, he was a inspiration for the character, this was like an incredible opportunity. And so I kind of reworked his backstory, his story, his design, made it, and I made this new thing, and I pitched it to Neff. He loved it, and we've been working on the script, and we brought in this brilliant artist, Fabrizio Ugolini, and he has crushed it. We are finishing the book right now. It'll be done before we even crowdfund. We'll likely have proofs at the very least by the time that we launch. But we are
Fantastic.
for a summer launch. It's going to be a good time.
So while Ogden is checking his phone for a message from Comics Mate, I just want to say, like, yeah, make sure you sign up for that, because that's you know the quality that Ogden brings, you know the quality that Neff brings, so you know that them together is going to be something that's pretty exceptional, and you know that art's great. So make sure to check that out. Looks pretty impressive, and it sounds like it's going to be one of those on time books, which we know and love. So
yes, well, and it's going to be nice to be able to do that after the issues that I've had to deal with this last one. But luckily, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing this year, we're going to have done, or as close to done as possible before we even go to crowdfunding, because I feel like that's kind of what we have to do at this point. So, oh yeah, I just saw Dean. I don't want to share that here yet. We will save that surprise for later. I hope that this isn't serious. The Shadow is probably one of the most influential pulp characters of all time. If you have ever liked a dark vigilante character that's cloaked and works within the shadows, everything from Batman to V for Vendetta, that's the Shadow. It all stems from the Shadow. I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming you for the late fulfillment. I take full responsibility for the late fulfillment. It's all to do with my own personal life, and I will be sending an update on the SPQR campaign very soon that explains everything.
I love streams like these. They're so authentic. You're getting some sort of text message update about good news. You're hearing thoughtful apologies about fulfillment. You're getting all kinds of new, first time viewing of this new Judex excursion. You're hearing about back green room fights that happened before we even go live that we didn't even realize was a fight till B Rose just exited, yeeted himself. And you got that all in one stream, and we got derailed at least twice by Aldous. So thank you for that,
Courtney. You're right. It is Latin, not French. I got that goofed up. Point is that it is that's what it comes from. It is the word for judge. It is the Latin word for judge. I apologize. But yeah. Let's see. What else do we have? So Romans versus Zombies is happening. That is something that's in that is in the pipeline. The artist for it is just bogged down right now. But I will have some stuff to share on that soon. That's gonna be fun. But anyways, make sure that you guys sign up for Judex if you haven't already. The Embrace 2, I would say go sign up, but most everybody, if you're in this chat, you've probably already signed up for the Embrace 2. We've got some really exciting stuff on the horizon there, and Dean, I will give you a call as soon as I'm off here. I'll shoot you the link so that you can come and hang out with us in the green room. But we are going to call this quits for the stream, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out.
I appreciate y'all.
But anyways, we will chat with you all here in a bit. Let's see.